Generation Zero's next update could be the biggest update that the game has ever seen. We've seen tons of stuff over the past 5 years, the Firebirds, motorcycles, rivals, Soviet machines, and tons more. But this last update, which is the downside of this one, it will be the biggest update, but it will also be the final update for Generation Zero. We've known it's been coming for a while now, but they are going out with a bang. This update is going to include as many bits of community feedback as they could possibly get into it, as well as 3 new experimental weapons to round off the base game weaponry. You'll also be able to unlock all skill upgrades and complete the end game experience. They'll also be uncapping any skill points and have new cosmetics, as well as tons of QOL improvements. And of course, they're going to be adding a finish to the storyline of Generation Zero. But that's not the biggest part. The biggest part of this update is that it looks like it's going to be utilizing a new island. When the team unveiled this update yesterday, they released a dev letter, and they did say in there that this will have an area that we haven't been to before. The new area will not be as sprawling as Himfell, so not the same size, I'm assuming a little bit smaller, but it will give you the space needed to tell the last part of the narrative. So, pretty cool. We'll be able to explore new terrains with a brand new, unique feel with tons of environmental storytelling, just like we're used to. And that is something that the Generation Zero team do exceptionally well. Storytelling through the set pieces dotted around the game itself. There are tons and tons of awesome things that you can come across, and I hope this last update will include a load of those as well. Now, with this news of the last update, we also got 2 screenshots. We don't have a date on this update yet, but we know we're getting the experimentals and loads of other stuff, and it will be the final update for Generation Zero. Now, I did mention that there's going to be some new screenshots, and we'll have a look at those now. There are 2 in total, and this one is the first one. Now, the background, there is something very interesting there, and we will get onto that. But the thing that mostly drew my attention was these 4 monitor screens here. Now, yes, I'm zooming in. You can't really see too much. It's quite blurry. But we know that that is FOA 10, which is the sort of test base facility, and there is a giant lift in there. Now, that giant lift, we don't know where it goes. It's opened ever so slightly since the game's release. It was originally a closed sort of hatch. Now, there's a little bit of a crack in it. It's a little bit open, and it's quite interesting. Now, this, on the right-hand side, does make me think that this is some form of tunnel and secure sort of vault door here. So I'm going way out on a limb here, but this looks like a bunker. I think this is definitely a bunker. There's the center screen with a map on, where you would normally go to when you've unlocked it, and you can choose missions, add extra missions from there, and that's quite cool. That is very cool. Now, this first image here is of these pylons, I believe. So the camera is sort of off in this back corner here, which quite cool. This must be the sort of entrance to the bunker, maybe, or the exit on the other island. So this here is going to be the sort of entrance. We go through some tunnels, find a bunker, and then come out on a sort of open section into this sort of chemical plant on that 3rd island. That's just a guess. I could be completely off there, but that is what I'm genuinely thinking. And then, as we can see here, we've got whatever this thing is. It looks like some sort of energy pylon or something that does power. But we can see these big lines and poles here. And then there's something there in the distance. I can't quite make it out. But I do think that is this here. So the chimney there is this little one here. And then this sort of section is just hanging over the corner here. Don't know what it is. Could be, looks like some sort of fuel pod, maybe landing pod for the Firebirds or the Soviet machines. But they have said that this ties a lot more into the Phoenix missions. So this is definitely, I would like to think, no sort of Soviet relations. But they have also said that the Soviet dolls, you need to collect the Soviet nesting doll collectibles, which will then be attached to the lore to whatever is on this island. So we could see a nice, decent mix of the 2, or maybe they've sort of put their differences aside and formed one sort of weird mix of Soviet and Phoenix machine, which I think would be fucking terrifying and brutal, but very cool. Now, the second screenshot here is not as interesting, but there is something very interesting off in the background. Judging by the actual islands in game, that I believe is the mainland. So if that is the mainland, we are on the island to the left of the main island that we're on. That is it, I guess. I do think I'm right on that one. It could be the smaller one at the top, but they said it's not as big as Himfal. And the one in the top right-hand corner, as you can see, is much, much bigger than Himfal. So I do think this is this island here on the left-hand side. I could be way off with that one, though, but that's just a theory on that. And obviously, as we can see with the houses and the designs, they're all relatively similar. This looks like maybe a safe house. I'm not too sure. Looks to be some form of bench in there. It might just be a toolbox, but yeah, this looks like a safe house area, I would say. But we can't really see too much off in the distance. We've got a little sort of like flick, and then I think they're trees. It'd be cool if there was some form of statue, but I definitely just think that those are trees. Now, when it comes to the weapons, I'm really not 100% sure on which ones I think it could be, but there are 3 base weapons that have no experimental variant, and one is the AI-76, which, like an AK-47 basically, and it's such a great gun. Absolutely love this. It's one of my favourite weapons. And then the HP-5 as well. I'm pretty sure that was an original gun, like literally launched release day, because all the experimentals that they've done so far are variants that were in at launch. I think. I might be wrong. There may be one that's not, but I'm pretty sure they're all the ones that were done at launch. And then the Moller PP is another one that was in the game at launch that doesn't have an experimental variant. And they've said there are 3 new experimental weapons, so I think the Moller, HP-5, and the AI-76 are those 3. What do you guys think, though? I could be wrong on that one. Let me know what you think down below. But whatever happens, it looks absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to see what this update is going to be. It is a sad day that it is the end of Generation 0, but with one massive final update, I think that'll be absolutely amazing. The team have said that they will determine once this update releases if it will need any hotfixes. If it does not need a hotfix, this will be the last ever update for Generation 0, whilst the team moves on to bigger and better things. Now, Generation 02 is not coming, but we'll have to wait and see what happens if we do get something that's in the sort of GZ universe. Who knows? We'll see what's going on. But for now, we are going to wrap that one up there. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the actual island? Do you think it is the one in that top corner? I am pretty certain that's going to be the one. I don't think the one on the bottom left would work. It's too hilly, and I think I'm right on the weapons as well. I'm hoping, anyway. I do hope we get a new experimental HP-5 and an experimental AI-76. Pistol, I'm not really too fussed about the Moller. I don't know what they could really do with it. I suppose they could do something really cool, and it become like the most OP weapon in game. But yeah, I also like the allowing us to use all of the skill trees. That's how I've read that anyway. But it seems like this is going to be a really cool update that sort of finishes it off in style. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. For now, we're going to wrap that one up there. I've been Wyatt, you've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.